You done humming?
Yep.
Brant.
Yeah.
Mauro.
Entertained I've ever been watching two grandpa-aged men throw down.
Grandma,
together.
they're fighting again. Grandma.
Dude, it was like I didn't expect it to be a good fight coming into it. I don't think any of us really did, but it was fun. Yeah. And it wasn't bad.
Nope.
It was better than the McGregor-Mayweather fight for me.
Oh,
I don't know, but it was a more well-boxed fight.
Even though they were old, they still had the technique of being like a young fighter still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Compared to like when McGregor fought, they were like he was flailing his arms, like punching Floyd in the back of the head. Yep. It was a more entertaining fight than even Mayweather Pacquiao.
I said on Twitter it was more entertaining than any Mayweather fight there's ever been.
Yeah,
because Mayweather doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he walks around. Yeah.
Mike was throwing bombs, dude. Yeah. It was unbelievable. Like the fact that he was still doing that at his age, I'm like, this guy could probably still fight today against an actual boxer, and I would give him a chance.
I mean, now there's stuff of him and Holyfield are going at it, or like Holyfield was basically saying on Twitter. I wouldn't say that they were going at it because like he wasn't obviously like, hey, like they weren't going back and forth, but they did mention it. Yeah,
he's like if you want to call a fight versus Roy Jones, like that's one thing, but then you bring me into the mix, that's a global event, and like that'd be honestly crazy considering how both of them were just going at each other. Like honestly, like for two 50-year-old men, like it was probably one of the more entertaining boxing things that I've seen. Like I've never been a boxing guy, but it brought me to the screen. It brought me to my phone to go out and watch it. Like,
man, everyone was talking about it. Like people that you don't expect to watch boxing, like even like people like my parents' age, like they're into it because this is a guy they grew up knowing as one of the best in boxing. Mm-hmm. Right. It was just, you could have the conversation with everyone, and it was like, no, it wasn't the best fight you'll ever see, but like for two 50-something-year-old men, like they were throwing down.
They entertained us more than two 20-year-olds can and 30-year-olds can at times. Like,
I was significantly more entertained by that fight than I was the one before.
Okay, well, I mean,
I'm gonna agree to disagree.
I didn't enjoy a single second of the Nate Robinson Jake Paul fight.
I mean,
not one.
Look, I think the whole thing's a joke. Like,
oh my god, can we stop letting YouTubers box?
Yeah,
especially the fucking Pauls. I'm so done with the two of them. Yeah. Like the fact that he comes out after the fight and he goes, "Oh, I want to keep doing this. I want to take on McGregor and Dylan Dennis," and then I didn't even listen to the rest of the list because it didn't matter.
Hey, you know what? He actually might beat Dylan Dennis.
Sure, but like you're gonna go after Conor McGregor. Here's the thing for me: like you're not gonna win. Sorry, you're not that tough. Like, come on. But like you're gonna go after Conor McGregor in a sport that's not even his. Like you want to act tough, go after a boxer. Like that's like me saying, yeah, I could probably take on LeBron James one-on-one on the ice. It's the same fucking thing. Just because I can beat LeBron James at hockey doesn't mean I'm a better athlete.
Right.
It just means LeBron James can't play hockey.
Right.
Like, yeah, you beat Nate Robinson. Congratulations. He's 5'8" and can never look like he's never boxed before. It's not even. It's just. It's evident he was fighting with his face.
Yeah. Right.
Just embarrassing, man. I didn't enjoy a single second of it.
I still thought Nate Robinson was gonna win because, like,
I did before.
One is a professional athlete.
Yeah.
That is uber athletic, and the other is a YouTuber.
Mm-hmm. In both the Paul's fairness, they've been training as boxers.
Exactly.
Like they put some effort into this, and all due respect to them for that. But don't go after the top. You fought like as Jake Paul. You fought Nate Robinson, who's never boxed a day in his life, and his other fight was against a YouTuber. Am I wrong? It was one of KSI's guys.
Teji,
so you have two fights against guys that have never fought.
Right.
Like you're not a boxer, man. Like once you beat some actual boxers, I will show you some respect. Yeah. Until then, don't go after actual fighters. It's embarrassing.
No, I want to just speak to the whole stupidity of it all because, look, like I get that, like the spontaneousness of it. Yeah, YouTuber's gonna box a basketball player. That it's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Like from an interest standpoint, like it gained my interest. I wanted to go out and watch it.
Yeah, I was more interested coming in to watch that fight than I was Tyson versus Joe.
I'm with Ameer on that.
At least there's also a decision on that one too.
From the technique side of it, yeah, they both sucked. They had no idea what they were doing. I think Jake Paul had a better understanding of what he was doing, but
Jake
Nate
Paul
Robinson
looked like
went
he
in
knew
there
how to box.
offense only.
Exactly,
Like he kept his hands weren't in proper position. I don't know proper boxing technique, but he left himself vulnerable to the point that he was done in the second round.
He led with his head every single time.
He kept rushing him at every time. Yeah.
And from an outside perspective, it was entertaining to see a guy get knocked out. And I think just looking at this from a sports standpoint, like if you brought the two best, and I'm not saying, like Nate Robinson isn't by any means the best basketball player, but he is a big enough draw that if you brought him into the mix of another sport, it would still be fun. Like if you brought whoever, like, and even now I'm going to transition this into the Evander Kane situation where you bring out any athlete of any sort of stature that has any name behind them, and you put them in the mix of some sort of sport that has nothing to do with, theirs, like, two guys that, LeBron James versus whoever in a 100-meter dash. I think that would still gain a lot of attention than two guys that aren't big in the boxing.
I don't disagree with that point at all, but it's just the fact that you're acting like you're a boxer because you're taking on
that I don't,
or that you're like a professional athlete.
That I don't agree with at all. Like this guy's won 2 amateur fights and all of a sudden
beat a professional. That's what.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Okay.
But I don't think it helped that the 2 fights before the Jake Paul fight were really good fights. I don't know if you guys caught them, but I
caught a little bit. Yeah, I caught
both of them were great back and forth battles that ended in one was a knockout and one was a unanimous decision, I think. But they were both great fights.
So the one thing that I took from this is that you guys are Jake Paulers and low gangsters. Second of all,
no, not really.
I'm joking. That was a joke.
Oh. Hold on, before you continue,
Kane thing would never.
Logan wants him.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
But the NHL won't let it happen.
No, not even for that. If you're Logan or Jake Paul, who the fuck is Evander Kane?
Yeah, they don't even.
You got 5.5 Twitter followers. How many millions of YouTube subscribers? And Evander Kane's got like 200,000 Twitter followers. Like, who the fuck is that in comparison? That's why it never happened.
On the Pauls.
Sure.
Jake Paul's nickname for the fight and the whole boxing thing in general was the problem child.
The problem child.
Right.
Yeah.
Is Jake Paul the problem child of that family?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
Like, I would put Logan as the problem before Jake.
Of course.
Jake's an idiot. Don't get me wrong. But I would say Logan is the problem child.
Right.
I wouldn't know enough about either of them to speak on that.
There's only one of them that was filming dead people in a forest. So
in a suicide
I know about that, but I
Yeah,
had no idea what was behind that.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Jake's an idiot. He does stupid shit.
Right.
But I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Just stop. I don't want to see anymore. I don't want to see any more of these them. You know what? Celebrity boxing matches are fun. Do it on a non-WBC sanctioned thing and it's fun. But when you're trying to call out some of the best fighters on the planet, get off my TV.
Right.
I don't want to see you anymore.
No, I agree. I think it's a gimmick, but also Mike Tyson had a great point where he basically said he was thankful of the YouTubers for bringing some popularity back to the sport because they were getting their ass kicked by the UFC, and he's not wrong in any way.
Yeah.
There's just so many more elements to the UFC that make it more entertaining. It's just when you're fighting between the two,
and they have better athletes right now. Like in boxing, there's not that
there's 3 guys
that are legitimately draws. There's not that many.
No, and
they have great fighters, but they don't have.
There's 2 rivalries that are any good, and that's pretty much.
I mean, they don't have people that draw the sport.
No.
I only know one name, and that's Anthony Joshua. Other than that, everybody else is either Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, and all of those guys.
Anthony Joshua is basically like if Cam Newton fought. They both look the exact same. They're both sponsored by Under Armour. It's crazy.
Canelo GGG is a thing, right? Or was?
You mean Triple G?
Idea.
Yeah. It was a thing, yeah. But even that, that's over. Canelo's a draw, but he's not that he's popular in the boxing.
They're names that nobody else knows that if you're not a
Tyson Fury, he's not getting he's the unreal
Deontay
fighter.
Wilder.
They're unreal fighters, but they're not getting it their personalities aren't getting anyone.
There's a lot more people on this planet that know Conor McGregor than they do either one of those two.
Mm-hmm. Like Terrence Crawford,
It's not
Earl Mance,
Conor
like, it just
McGregor.
doesn't do it. No, exactly.
Probably not the best in his class anymore, and
Right.
PB's still a more well known name than either of the two.
Like
of
you
the
could
greatest.
list off for the UFC the amount of draws that they have. It's crazy. Like, and it's just name after name after name after name.
Every card, there's someone that's just huge.
Right.
Almost
like
every,
you even
every
had
card.
it got canceled next week, but Khamzat versus Leon Edwards, like that was a massive fight.
Huge, and that's a fight night. That's
Exactly.
not even a real card. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, so it's two-handed, right? On one hand, you're like, I hate this. They're making a mockery of it. Shut up. Fight someone actually that's an actual professional. On the other half, it's like, hey, you're actually doing good things for the sport in terms of promoting it. So how mad can you really get?
I'm not a boxing fan, so I don't really care if you're bringing fans to the sport. So to me, it's just like, stop. I don't care. Man, keep fighting. I don't care. That's cool. That's awesome. I like seeing celebrities fight. Just stop pretending you're a boxer. You're not.
Right. Yeah. Fair.
You learned to box. Congratulations. You're not a boxer.
Fair.
You haven't even fought a real professional boxer.
All right. Let's transition over to the NBA because right before we recorded, Russell Westbrook was traded to the Washington Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick.
Yeah.
It's something that's been rumored to happen, but I'm so confused. Like, why?
If you told me that he was going to the Wizards, that's probably the package I would have thought.
But why? You're Houston. You're Houston.
Neither team gets better. Neither team gets better.
No, Washington is better.
Team.
Well, no. For all the shit that we can talk about Russell Westbrook, he is a significantly better player than John Wall. And it's not close. John Wall hasn't played basketball in 2 years.
That's fair.
And he's
but when John Wall plays, like he's
basically
the
same amount of money. Yeah, but he's not Russell Westbrook still.
No.
At his peak, he's not even Russell Westbrook. So I don't understand.
He's also a problem.
I don't think from a fit perspective it's that great either because John Wall can't really shoot. They're basically they downgraded, got a first round pick, sure, to recoup some assets. But like, what do you care about that? Like, in terms of a basketball fit, you finally get John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins together. Ooh-wee. Yeah. Like, who gives a shit? I think they're the worst team.
You could flip John Wall.
You can't flip John Wall. John Wall's on the worst contract in the NBA.
Yeah, he's got a
career making the same amount of money.
Oof.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you hope John Wall regains his form.
That's what I want to speak to, though. That's what I want to speak to the trade about because, I mean, I don't really see how this does any good for either other teams. But yes, John Wall's on a terrible contract. They've been talking about getting rid of him for a very long time. To get a player like Russell Westbrook back for him, even at the expense of a first, sure, you're off that contract. It's off the books. You're at least recouping some talent. So I get something. Why it makes sense. And I mean, for the Rockets, again, from the whole talent swap, I don't really see how it makes. Obviously, they're getting a first, but they're a contending team right now. They've got James Harden. Yeah. You would think that. I mean, even with the first round pick, it's a 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, if it was a closer pick, I mean, in terms of
the pick is just
year,
it's nothing. It
is like, and if you want it for recouping somebody or trying to get somebody at the deadline, I get it, but I mean, you're a contending team.
It's a weird move all around. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Let's talk from points perspective alone. Last year, as the second banana on Houston, Russell Westbrook averaged 27.2 points. John Wall's never done that in his career.
No.
The highest he's had is 23.1, and that was in 2016. He hasn't played basketball in a year. And then the last 2 years that he played 32 games in 2019, and in 2018 he played 41.
Yeah.
That's what you're like. I don't care if Westbrook and James Harden wasn't getting along. What the fuck is the point of it? I don't like unless you're trading Harden now and you're going full rebuild and you're doing this just to get the pick.
John Wall's an issue, is he not? Like he's not. There's been character issues there in Washington. Am I wrong?
And I don't know if it's just between him and Beal, but I know that in the past.
But if there's already been issues there and you're going to trade him for someone else that was having issues, like I just don't feel like that's a very safe move.
I don't think that Westbrook isn't a problem from a personality standpoint, though. You could say his problems on the basketball floor and he he's limited in some
I don't
ways,
know him
but
off
I
the
don't
court.
think
I don't know what he is.
as a person, like I've seen videos on Twitter of him recently, like just being a dad to his kids, and like it's Russell Dad Westbrook is incredible.
Sure.
But, like,
I don't know either of them off the court. I can't speak to
Right.
either of their personalities, but just
Right.
like rumors alone, it just seems like you're trading an issue for another issue.
I don't think that Russell Westbrook is as big of an issue as James Harden is, or sorry, as
John
Wall
Wallace,
is.
which I think is worse.
Yeah, so that's why I don't understand it for why Houston did this. I don't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Just it's cool.
Yeah,
Some
it's
big
cool.
names.
Trade
Something to
happened. It
talk
went
about
down.
because there's nothing going on in any sport right now. That's cool.
Right.
But like it's just the trade doesn't really make sense either way.
No.
You get a little bit better if you're Washington, sure. But
Yeah.
you're no closer to winning a championship with Russell.
No, but
Westbrook.
I think you're
better.
You think you can be a playoff team.
Sure. I'm sure they think that, but
Sure.
I don't know.
What else did we have?
Did you guys see the article Sportsnet did?
I did not.
So they put out a thing. It was basically like they're saying if Giannis ends up re-signing, they gave a list of plan Bs that you could go with, and the first one on that list is Kawhi. Is Kawhi plan B if they're both available?
I think from a basketball standpoint, Kawhi's the better fit. So
Kawhi's plan A.
Yeah.
Like, why is that the question? Like,
yeah,
no,
if both of them want to sign and you can only sign one,
I
you're
want
signing
Kawhi.
Yeah.
Every single time we're here.
I agree.
He's played on your team. You've won a championship with him. I'd say he's better defensively. It's an argument. It's close. But he's definitely better offensively.
Yep.
He can shoot. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm.
He's not plan B.
No,
he is the plan.
I agree.
I'm like, I thought that was hilarious. Sportsnet has some interesting articles that pop up, and I was just like, oh, this could be cool.
Right.
And the first name that pops up is Kawhi. I'm like, oh, okay, no.
And
then LeBron was also on there, which I think is hilarious.
Well, hello,
like, I'm like, he's not actually a plan B, but that's cute.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get the Giannis love. He's good. He's the MVP, but like, relax. I thought it was funny. Thought I'd bring that up.
Speaking of, LeBron signs an extension, a 2-year deal.
Just got fucking
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah, and so basically he signs a 2-year deal that takes him
Is that the Bronny draft?
Yeah, to the Bronny draft, wherever he goes, if he
goes.
gets
He's
drafted
going
at
with
all, where's going. So if you're a team, I'm drafting. Yeah, I'm just drafting.
Oh
Bronny.
yeah,
If it's close, I get a package deal. Like, what are we saying? Like, LeBron in 2 years will still be better, or 3 years technically will still be better than
most of the league.
players. Exactly.
Whether
How bad
he's
is Cleveland
LeBron,
gonna
who
be?
knows?
Huh?
How bad is Cleveland going to be in 2 years? Wouldn't that be fitting?
Still be bad. I mean, why not a third time?
It's tough
For real.
it's tough to be the worst in the NBA though. There's always teams that are just like battling
Right.
real hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good battle at the bottom just as much as it is at the top.
Speaking a little bit more about the Raptors, did you guys see the mock-up jerseys of the Tampa Raptors?
I think
Yes,
so. Like
I
the pink
did.
and blue ones.
Yeah,
They're kind of like
those
the Miami
look
Vice color.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I was
like 'em.
part of me was like, no, because I saw some stupid sports reporter was like, oh, there should be a Tampa Bay Raptors jersey and it would sell great here. And like, I think that's the least you could do for us. And then Twitter was like, go fuck yourself. And I agreed. But when I saw those, I was just like, let's do it.
I think it'd be a cool alternate, just like to wear like once or twice, just like
Exactly,
a here,
while
hey,
you're
thanks for
there.
having us. Like,
Yeah.
what does it hurt, man? It's not. They're not claiming it as your team. It's like, who cares? Like, it's the team's coming back. You're not staying in Tampa. It's just, it's kind of cool. It's a wicked jersey. Why not?
Obviously, it's not real.
I like
so
it.
I doubt it would happen.
I
But
hate that it's
I'm here
Tampa
for it.
based. Yeah, I hate that it's Tampa based, but like even just speaking to the Raptors logo, it's like it's kind of been bland. Like ever since the Dino look, like I've never really been a fan of anything they've really put out.
It's just
like,
so basic.
I like the new
It's
jersey.
cool. It's really minimalist, but like it's just basic.
Right.
It's not.
Right.
It's nothing to
Yeah.
blow you away.
Like even with the logo change, like everybody's doing this circle with a basketball of some
Yeah.
sort, and like I mean,
No,
I like
the
the
logo
I like the
stuff-
unique thing.
The logo sucks. Whatever. I like the jerseys, how they look, the new ones. They've really grown on me.
It's up there.
But some other things. How concerned are you guys like with the Raptors being in Florida?
I don't know.
In terms of what?
Like it doesn't
COVID?
seem to actually be an issue for athletes in like Florida states. Like Tampa Bay, the Bucks never really had any issues. The Rays never really had any issues. Who else is there? Jacksonville never really had an issue. Miami, I don't think has any cases, do they?
Miami, like the
Dolphins, sorry.
No,
the Marlins. Or the Marlins were bad.
Yeah,
right. But the Marlins weren't bad because they were in Florida. They went to fucking Atlanta, and that's where it happened, right? Like I know Florida's a hotspot and it's really bad, but it's not the only one down there.
Right.
And it just hasn't seemed to actually affect teams the way like they're not stupid enough to be going out in Florida and doing things. Like if you're some teams are, don't get me wrong, like it's embarrassing. But
I was listening to the JJ Redick podcast, and he was basically like, if you're expecting players to just not go out in cities, you're doing it wrong. Because he's like, we have some wild motherfuckers in this league. Like they're going out, and I don't know if you can stop them from doing that, especially in a city like Tampa.
Oh, you definitely can, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't know.
You legally can, but it's just it's going to be tough.
Like for the good of the team. I think that that's where I have the trust in the Raptors front office from that standpoint, that they would be like, hey, how about we not do this and not expose ourselves more than we need to?
A lot of guys are smart enough to not do something that would end up causing shit, especially because there's wicked fines for people that do stuff like that. Like in the NFL, like there's been a few guys that have faced fines because they just don't listen to COVID protocols, right?
Right.
Protocols.
It's definitely a thing.
With that, yeah.
But who knows?
A
lot of guys don't listen.
The other thing I wanted to mention with the Raptors, they seem to be giving Terrence the benefit of the doubt in terms of his legal situation.
Still here.
Because, and I said that would happen until the legal process played out. It doesn't make sense for them to. So I think it was last Sunday was the day that they could have cut Terrence and without it impacting, without guaranteeing this year's salary. The problem was if he was released in that situation, then the NBA PA would then file a grievance because nothing has been proven yet. So basically you just have to wait and see.
I think it's just a safe business move to wait until things go through with it. Right. Then you're just like, then you have a reason because it's like a legal issue and it's you can let go of him, no charge and all that stuff.
Yeah. Like we've been saying this from the start. You may be a piece of shit, but you still have to let the process play out because
I'm a little surprised there's not more like internet flack against them for
there is. There is.
I haven't seen much.
Raptors Twitter, it is popping. Okay. It is. All I want this for Christmas is Terrence Davis to not be on the Raptors. Like it's bad.
Okay. As it
I haven't
seen
be.
A lot.
As it should be.
Well, that's the thing. There's two sides to it.
Right.
Like who he is on the court is a great guy that we loved watching.
Exactly. It was a fun story. But then off the court, it can be entirely different.
Like until
we don't know.
The process. Like there's two sides. It's either he did it or he didn't. Until that plays out, I can see why the backlash.
There's a lot of evidence against him, but you still just don't know yet, and you can't have that grievance held against you, because it's not a good business move.
It's tough because you want to be a good business, but you also want to be good people, and it's a tough situation to be in.
Right.
I feel for them. Sucks. Shitty move on TD's part to put him in that spot.
Right. The NBA Christmas schedule was released.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. Do we have the right to be salty again or no?
I don't think so. So
I mean, there's a lot of games. So regular years, I don't understand the anger, but like it's starting on Christmas this year, right?
No, it's 2 days before. They're not on national TV. The 22nd, 23rd, 24th, or 23rd, 24th, or 25th. They're not on national TV. Might be including the 22nd actually. Also,
I kind of get why we don't get a Christmas game. We're not very exciting.
No. Here's the thing. Here's why you can't be mad about it. Who are you supposed to play over?
I was just
and also you're not at home. You're not at home.
The Pelicans.
No, but why? Zion.
Because it's the Battle of Florida.
Zion's a bigger draw than anyone else we have.
Yeah.
No, but it's the Battle of Florida.
The Battle of Florida.
It would be
Yeah, Miami
got
and Tampa
nothing.
going head to head.
That's
No,
the
but I
only
mean,
one.
like,
That's the only one you can argue.
everything
Yeah.
else is okay. Golden State versus Milwaukee. I get
Golden
it.
State's probably
Brooklyn
not gonna
versus
be
the
good,
Celtics.
but-
I get it.
Yeah, but Steph Curry, like
But
Steph
Steph
Curry,
Curry.
you want him on that
Steph Curry by
national team
himself is a
on
draw.
Christmas. Exactly.
And
Zion's
I get
a
we
fucking
lost
draw. They
players,
did
and we're
this
not gonna be
last
the
year.
same team.
Yeah.
I guess.
Nets Celtics makes sense. Mavs.
No, there are some
Lakers
really
makes
good
sense.
There's-
games.
Nuggets.
I just wanted to bring it up.
The
just
thing
to
is,
see
there's no
where
like
you guys were thinking.
standout game that I'm just like, yeah. I don't like. I
No,
would have
they're not.
rather.
None
I
of
think
them
I
are
would
great
have.
games.
I think I would have rathered Clippers Lakers.
Clippers
Yeah.
Nuggets is a good one.
I agree.
I would have liked to see
The
Golden
rematch?
State versus
Yeah.
Brooklyn. I would have really liked
Oh,
Brooklyn
KD
versus
versus
Golden
KD.
State.
KD versus-
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
If that's his first game too, that'd be kind of wild. His first game back.
First
and he's
game
playing
back
Golden State.
against
That'd be fun.
his old team. That'd be
That would
awesome.
be fun. I like them.
I don't
Yeah,
really
the-
care about the Christmas Day games.
Oh,
I just like
love
to make
Christmas
that a
Day
point.
basketball.
I don't like-
love Christmas. Day
Maybe it's because
basketball.
basketball's not my main sport, but it's just like
Christmas Day.
I don't like watching hockey on Christmas. It's just like I don't really
'cause they don't play it.
care.
It's something to look
There's-
forward
yeah.
to. I know you're spending time with your
Yeah.
family. What better
You have
way
it on
than
in
to
the
just sit at the
background, like-
yeah, you have it on in the
Yeah.
background. You're just chilling and enjoying.
But like everybody
holiday
gets
game, it's
so
like-
worked up about it, and I'm like I don't know, man.
Also, I had a shit time last year because we got absolutely slapped
Yeah,
good game.
what a
because we had
fucking
everyone
Celtics.
out. Yeah.
see that
Yeah.
might have just fucked them for Christmas for a long time. 'cause, like,
Exactly.
you finally gave them a shot, and this is what they did with it.
Also, like
Mhm.
they're on the road in Tampa. Like what? Like, are they gonna play there? Or are they gonna play
don't-
against Miami?
Yeah. Yep.
Miami's the New Orleans is the only one that you can argue, and still, like, how
I
can't
wouldn't.
you give it to Zion?
If they're gonna prop him as the future of the NBA, I get
Mhm.
why they're doing it. It's just like from a
Toronto Miami would be a better game than
yes.
New Orleans Miami.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
That's the only argument
sure.
I have.
No,
But
I
like
agree.
it's nickels and dimes here. Like who fucking cares?
yeah,
Mhm.
agreed.
Well, that's the thing, like,
You're talking
You'd
about
be
the
2
weakest
months
game of the day.
you'd be 2 months into the season on a regular year, right? Where teams are already starting to work themselves into the standings, and Toronto versus Miami would be a lot more.
It'd be close.
the stakes would be higher. Yeah.
The stakes would be higher. There would be a lot more implications involved in terms of the standings and where teams fall. But this is what
But
also be
since
the
it's
third,
the regular,
third or
it's the
fourth
start of the
game.
season. Yeah, since
Exactly.
It's the start of the season.
Yeah, like,
what
I
does it
get
really
Doesn't
matter?
why.
matter.
Yeah.
Who cares at that point, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You're just looking at roster makeup, and the Pelicans they have Zion. That's all
exactly. Yeah. NHL, literally nothing has gone on.
it is. No.
The Evander Kane situation.
Evander Kane is the
literally was
only
on-
news that is actually. They
yeah.
mentioned that they are trying to start by January 1st. I don't think it happens. But
Do they have a plan?
No, they might strike. That's the worst part. Is like COVID's not even the issue of getting the season started this year. Is that they might strike because they can't figure out the CBA. It's embarrassing. It's like the NHL is the worst league. Sorry,
Perfect.
like not they do things right, but like anytime they have to negotiate, it's an absolute shit show.
Right. Totally fair.
It's the only team to have 2 strikes in the past 20 years.
Let's get into the week 12 picks. The results for
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah, just give me 1 second here. There we go. So week 12, I'll take us through that. So it, from what I'm being told in
11.
today's broadcast, was the longest in NFL history in terms of a week.
Bro, it never ended.
So it literally never ended. So
It never
When we
ended.
last
Man, the
record-
Ravens
yeah.
played today, and it feels like 3 weeks ago that I watched the Thanksgiving games. It's
So
insane.
we submitted our picks last week with the presumption that the Steelers and Ravens were a 1:00 game. Fast forward to this week, it just finished not even an hour or two ago. And
No. When we submitted
mean,
our picks,
yes,
Steelers
we
Ravens
submitted
was-
the pick.
was Thursday night football on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're now
Yeah.
almost back to Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's bad.
and
Crazy.
so I honestly was worried we weren't even going to be able to get this pick in and calculated, but here we are. So yeah, Ameer,
Before we
Brant,
go on with
Go
the
ahead.
rest of the picks,
Yeah.
why didn't we cancel this game?
Oh, it made no sense. Like, I
Like, you have things in place for this. Like, if we cancel games, we expand the they expand the playoffs. They've already said this.
And I don't think they wanted to do it. That's
like, you're literally all you do in expanding the playoffs is take a bye week away from the top 2 teams. Who fucking cares?
They could have also just done a week 8 and what?
A week 18. Yeah.
18. Why didn't they just do that?
Their plan in place is that they just expand the playoffs by 1 team each side and take away the bye week from the top team, which I think is fine. Like, it's a weird year. Just fucking cancel the game, man. Yeah. What's his name? Booger. I forget his last name.
Booger McFarland?
He was talking about it. He's like, yeah, you got to give credit to the NFL for not canceling games and not doing. Fuck off! You need to give credit to the NFL. They're doing a terrible job. There's like 7 teams with outbreaks right now. This is fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, they've done nothing right in 3 weeks. Nothing.
It's not Marlins or Cardinals, or it's
like not breakout wise. No.
Yeah. But
it's bad.
You had fucking Denver with no QB.
Holy shit.
To win 1 of 8 for passing. Like,
you've got a wide receiver playing quarterback.
19 yards.
You can't even bring in a quarterback. They asked if they could use their coach.
Yeah.
Their coach.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring John Elway from up top. He's gonna play.
I don't know if he's allowed. I don't think he's allowed down with the team.
Probably not.
It's brutal.
Yeah,
it's
that
brutal.
Was rough.
They've done nothing right. I'm sorry. You cannot say you got to give credit to the NFL because this is fucking embarrassing.
All right, Mauro, get into the pick.
I'll get into the picks, but just quickly on that Denver game. Like, the quarterback, it was a wide receiver from the practice squad. He went 1 for 9 for 13 yards. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
There is many.
But yeah, getting onto the picks. Like,
it's good.
It's good. So you guys both finished 12-4. I finished 10-6.
I had a fucking week, man.
I go into the week 13 picks, still up 2 games, so keep your pants on, all right?
I said I'm on your ass. I'm on your left.
Yeah.
I'm on your left.
On your left.
Houston and Houston Texans, Detroit Lions. We all went Houston. Me and Ameer went with the Cowboys. I'm speatless. Like, this team.
The football team, baby.
And I've liked Washington. That's the worst. That's the worst.
I don't know why I did
it.
I don't know why I did it.
In fairness, I only went with Washington because they were the underdog. I'm like, yeah, I'll use it on that. It's a pick 'em. So I wasn't no messiah here that picked it, but I was happy with it.
Giants scraped away with a win against the Bengals. Didn't really look too good.
Great.
I'll take the win.
Lost a quarterback in the process.
Yep. R.I.P.
Any news?
He was apparently working practice today. He should be back. I hope they sit him just because we probably don't stand a chance against Seattle anyway, but we'll see. Going later into the week, we'll know for sure. Yeah. But that's all right. Raiders, Falcons. We all went with Las Vegas, and
what
Falcons
the
just went off.
Happened to the Raiders?
Yeah.
That's the worst I've seen them this year. They forgot to play. They just forgot to play.
And now Josh Jacobs is hurt.
Oh no!
Is he? I didn't watch much, but
they forgot to play. Young Ho Koo went off. Young Hui Koo. I don't actually know how to pronounce his first name.
Young Hui Koo.
Young Hui Koo.
He went off.
He's been steady, man.
He went off. He had like 24 points in fantasy for me. I'm like, thank you. Guy's a legend, rock star.
Those Chargers, we all went Buffalo. I regretted it when I picked it even last week, but we went. I went Colts in the Titans versus Colts matchup. You guys both went Tennessee, so that's one game where I lost.
I didn't expect that game to be that bad. Yeah. I expected the Titans to win, but that was oof.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
Colts can't score.
Fuck.
No,
Colts suck, and I knew I regretted it when I picked it, but
their defense.
Fuck me.
Their defense usually isn't that bad.
You gave me a chance to play in a game picking Tennessee. Like, I'm here for.
Yeah,
that's
I figured their defense would shut. I was real back and forth on that one, but like their defense just forgot to show up.
Right,
it was bad.
Cleveland versus Jags. I mean, this looked like a no-brainer, but it was closer than it. It should have been.
Again, the defense forgot to show up.
Congratulations, Baker Mayfield threw a touchdown for the first time in like 3 or 4
weeks. 3 weeks.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, like that's like Giants bad, man. Come on.
But he hasn't been getting like picked off. He's just been like not throwing touchdowns.
Quarter, he had a wide open Rashad Higgins in the end zone, and I picked him in daily fantasy. I was gonna look absolutely incredible, and he misses him by a mile. Like when I tell you he was open, like he was open, like you would not believe how open he was.
I'd like to say that that's on you, just because you know how bad Baker Mayfield is.
You have ripped Baker a lot this year. So the fact that you picked a Brown is a little...
that's on you, man.
I don't really...
You know exactly what you're getting into, so...
He's right.
It sucks.
He's right.
Yeah, this one came out of nowhere, too. Panthers versus Vikings. I wasn't really watching much of it, but next thing you know...
my heart. The defense was so good, man. They had 2 touchdowns. I was like, this team's buzzing. They had an 11-point lead in the 4th.
Yeah,
and then
not gonna lie, after
then
Kirk Cousins fumbled the ball, like
Minnesota muffed a punt.
Yeah,
muffed a punt with like a minute something left, and they couldn't score, and they brought it back and just stormed downfield.
Crazy.
And I don't know. I
was under the assumption I lost it, and then I looked at like 7:00. I was like, "Oh, they won!" And I messaged you guys. I was just like,
Joey Sly gets a 54-yard field goal try and win it, and just shanks the shit out of it.
I don't believe in Teddy. I just don't.
Teddy wasn't even really the problem.
No. I don't know
what happened.
With the QB with Teddy on it, I'm just like, I like Teddy the person. I don't like him as my leader.
They gave up way too many points to a team that was missing their best wide receiver and was lacking Dalvin Cook for most of the game. They had 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns.
Right.
21 points for me.
Right.
That was the only other one that Ameer directly gained on me, because Brant was also with me on that pick. So we both took Carolina, and so that's the rounding off the +2. Everything else, we were all the same. So Arizona, we all got wrong against the Pats. I mean, that one was whatever, just because we've been off on Arizona every week, it seems, and this was just another case of that.
Man, if I bet on an Arizona game, fade me, because I have not picked them right. It's awful.
And it's a close one again this week, right?
Yeah.
Fade me.
That's it is a divisional game this week, but we'll get into that one soon. Miami and the Jets, we all got right, no brainer. Saints, Broncos didn't even have a QB.
Right.
Rams, 49ers, we all took the Rams, and the 49ers just exploded. I mean,
but I was fine with losing that one. Like, what are you gonna do?
They play them well. They do play them well. It's just we don't know what anybody is in that division.
Right.
Chiefs, Bucks, we all took Kansas City. Bears, Packers, we all went Green Bay.
Before we get off of that game, dude, Tom Brady proved every point I ever made in that last podcast, because he was bad. He couldn't hit targets downfield, and he's the reason they lost that game. They were good.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see come playoff time what happens with that team.
Honestly, I don't know about you guys.
I feel like they have another level. Tom Brady just has another level.
I hope. Right. Man, I want to see the Bucs win. I don't know about you guys, but I want to see them win. And I do. It hurts.
I don't know about you guys, but when you get absolutely like stomped in a week in fantasy, do you just like check out a football? Like I was out. I was paying attention, but like I was done for it early, and I was just like, all right, I'm out.
I was in a battle. So
that was me week 2 when Barkley got injured. Thanks.
Mauro's been checked out since week 2.
Wow, I get to root my best player. My favorite player is going to be my best player this year. It's going to be awesome. Week 2, I'm out.
Done.
Yeah. So yeah, I know the feeling. Believe me. Finishing off the last 3 games here, week 12. Bears, Packers, we all went Green Bay. Seattle versus the Eagles, we all took Seattle. Pittsburgh, Ravens, we all took Pittsburgh. I know we have a note here, something about Carson Wentz. I'll let you guys start us off here.
Like, Carson Wentz takes a lot of shit for arguably being the worst quarterback in the league. Can we blame Carson Wentz? Really? Like, who the fuck is he throwing to?
I'm biased.
I understand, but who the fuck is Carson Wentz throwing to, for starters?
Arcega Whiteside and Jalen Reagor are both first-round picks, or top 2 picks, if I'm not mistaken.
They're both not that good.
Their talent at the time they were drafted was there.
Yeah, they just haven't been very good.
It's definitely.
And we're talking about he's been sacked more than any other QB in the NFL. Like, he doesn't have time to throw the ball, and when he does, who the hell is he going to throw to? It's bad.
He's got 2 tight ends that any quarterback would dream of having.
Who?
Ertz and
Ertz has
Dallas
been out.
Goedert.
Ertz was out. Yeah.
Ertz has been out.
Yeah.
No, I know
This
he's
is what I
been out
mean,
for the
like-
past month, but if he wasn't back
He's been
this
out
week, he
most
should
of
be
the
back
season.
next week.
He's coming back next week, but he's been out most of the season.
No, but just from a talent perspective, like both these guys, they're probably one of the best dual threats at tight end in the league.
Okay, but you haven't had them. Ertz has been
They're
out for
gone.
whatever. Yeah.
He's gone. Like, that's what I mean. There's nothing there.
Ertz was out, and then Goddard got hurt.
There's nothing there.
Goddard was hurt
Explain to me
earlier.
a week 1 tie against Cincinnati.
I can't.
Cincinnati can score.
I can't. The team's not good.
No, I'm reaching here. I'm reaching.
The team's not good. Don't get me.
No.
This is what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
Like, Carson Wentz can't turn
yeah.
that team into something great, and he's gonna be
Yeah.
bad because he has no one to throw to.
And also, they're dicking him around. Like, they're doing the Jalen Hurts thing. They're taking him
Yeah.
out. Like,
Yeah, I think
Random times.
right.
he's gonna go to shit if he stays there, and he's too good of a player to stay there. I think
he can't leave. He can't leave. The Eagles cannot. So I saw it was next year if he wasn't on the team, he cost them $23 million. And then if he's not on the year in 2022, he cost them $43 million. He literally you can't do anything for the next 2 years.
Let him leave. He's
You
your
can't.
backup if you want to do anything.
so.
That's bad. Like,
Look, I'm all for trying to give or hold Wentz to as much of a degree of accountability on this, but like obviously Eagles management has not been very good whatsoever drafting first round picks of guys that have not played well. Like, I mean, Arcega-Whiteside, Rieger, they just haven't been what, you know, some of the other names that have been drafted. Like, you look at DK Metcalf 2-3 years ago whenever he was drafted, he's playing so well right now, and it's like, even if one of those guys that the Eagles have drafted have panned out, this would be a whole different conversation, I feel.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think Carson Wentz is in the top tier of the league. Don't get me wrong, but like, come on, like, he's not this.
He's better
bad.
than Baker. Like, okay, who would you rather have, Baker or Carson Wentz?
On
Carson
that team,
Wentz.
on the Browns, Carson Wentz.
That's what I'm saying.
From a talent perspective, I'd still take like
Carson Wentz nearly won an MVP
Wentz.
like 3-4 years ago. Like, he's
like coming into this season, I was 100% on the side of when people would bring up Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz. I was like, oh, Carson Wentz 100% of the time.
And then Dak
and then-
nutted up, but
And Dak nutted up, and then Carson
nutted
absolutely
down?
shit the bed. Yeah.
yeah.
So like it was two things, but also I just don't know. Like, he's too talented not to believe in him. Right?
That's the thing. So this was a conversation I've had with my cousins all week, and obviously I'm coming from a Giants fan perspective, and they're looking at me like, yeah, shut up, you're just an idiot. But like, when they won their Super Bowl 2-3 years ago, whatever it was,
Nick Foles.
this was a team that got carried by Carson Wentz the entire season.
Yeah.
Right.
And Nick Foles stepped in, transitioned seamlessly into what was a great Super Bowl run, their first in their history. And, you know,
Nick
at that
Foles,
point, I'm looking at it as, was Carson Wentz a beneficiary of a very, very, very good team to the point where now those same players aren't there,
So
he
here's-
can't lead to that same degree.
I could see it.
Here's the thing. With that, yes, he had the benefit from he didn't have to play in the playoffs, and Nick Foles just carried them on their magical ride. The other thing is Frank Wright was their offensive coordinator at the time, who's Indy's coach. Like, I think losing him, they've been on a downhill ever since.
It's tough for any team to lose their offensive coordinator.
Right.
It's not. It
And they
changes
haven't
the
been
entire
able-
game. It's going to take you time.
Yeah. So I don't.
It's just, I don't think Carson Wentz is great right now by any means, but like, I just think people need to relax on like just the complete bashing of him. It's like, what do you want him to do, man? There's not
The
a lot of
whole
quarterbacks
division
that are going to
front.
succeed in that situation.
Oh, also the offensive line. It's the worst.
bad.
It's
He's
the
been
worst.
sacked
Apparently
more than
have-
anyone in the league. This is what I'm
And
saying.
they've had the most combinations in the league, and just with all the injuries they've had to
Yeah.
deal with. Yeah, like I've
But like
heard.
everybody shows that stat like it's Carson Wentz's fault he gets sacked so much. It's like, yeah, he takes a little bit of time in the pocket, but like the O-line's got to hold somebody.
The O-line's literally had everyone out every week, and now Lane
Yeah.
Johnson for the year, right? Like, he's the least of their problems. Like, I can see that in the comment. Like,
Yeah.
Wentz isn't the problem considering that team. They lose a guy like Malcolm Jenkins, who was literally the leader. Like, ever since they got him from the Saints, and he's now back there, he's been the leader of that defense, and they don't have that anymore. They have like Jalen Mills back there, which, like, look, that's no Malcolm Jenkins. Jenkins is a fucking star in this league, and you lose him. I just think it's been a year from hell.
No, I agree. And it's just for me looking at it, this is statistically and by far his worst season. And
Yeah.
in a team where me as a Giants fan looking at this, how the fuck are we in a playoff lead in our division at 4-7? I'm laughing at this. And I can't help but laugh at Wentz. I can't help but laugh at the Cowboys. And how are we competing?
Right.
The third place team in every other division of the NFC would be leading the NFC East if they were in the NFC East with their current records. And that's without having to play the NFC East every week.
Take away the logos and everything from the teams. Take away like your biases. Washington is the best team in the division.
Yeah. They've had some really bad games where they just don't really show up, but they're built the best of anyone in the division.
Their defense is probably the best out of the bunch.
Yeah.
And
I think the Cowboys would have done it if they would have had Dak all year.
100%. No, 100%. I believe in the I'd be Team Cowboys because like they would have had the offense and that's the one thing that they can ride. They have the weapons in Dallas, except they have no one to give it to them.
The Cowboys defense has been pretty good the last 3 weeks.
Right.
Like as bad as they were at the beginning of the season, they seem to have figured something out. They look a lot better and they're holding teams to a lot less points. And just they look better as a unit out there. It's a little different than what they were.
Washington is the best team in the division at playing to their strengths. Like if you look at
they run
the Cowboys,
two backs.
Look at the Cowboys. They can't really find a way to get Amari Cooper or Ezekiel Elliott like out in space. Amari did it this week, but like Zeke's been bottled up ever since Dak's been out.
Yeah.
But if you look at Washington, even with the QB change, they've had the ability to manufacture yards with Terry McLaurin and Antonio Gibson.
And JD. McKissick's been
good too.
Been a great little side.
And then they've had Steven Sims, Cam Sims, like Logan Thomas has turned into a dependable tight end. Like what? Like
they're running a literal two-back system with two backs on the field.
Right.
It's unreal. Like some of the plays they draw up is just like you literally use JD McKissick as a receiver.
Right.
It's crazy.
I believe in them the most out of the whole division, and yet I'm still probably not picking them in games. Like
that's the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a division that should be stomped over between the Cowboys and the Eagles. And
every year.
I mean, yeah, as far as things go, as far as I'm concerned, the Giants and the
Giants
football
could
team
squeak in from now on.
Are both young developing teams that are just trying to figure out what the fuck their biggest need is going into the next draft because they shouldn't be competing in any sort of capacity, and here they are sitting at 1 and 2 in the division. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Do we have anything else on
anything? The last one we got was the Will Fuller suspension before we go into week 13.
Oh, that is not only Will Fuller, it's also Bradley Roby, their corner. So here's the most hilarious thing. Did you see who their assistant strength and conditioning coach is?
No.
Brian Cushing.
Who?
Do you remember Brian Cushing, the linebacker?
I know the
who
name.
Literally got suspended like year after year for steroids and PEDs.
It hurts.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Packers for dodging a big bullet there by not having that trade go through.
What? Sorry, what?
Because they were supposed to trade for Will Fuller.
They had interest.
They had a deal in place, and it just didn't get done in time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, congratulations on dodging a huge bullet.
No,
they have Tavon Austin now. They have Tavon Austin to.
Yeah. Randall Cobb. And
what?
Yeah.
No. Tavon Austin for the Packers.
For the Packers. Yeah, no, that sucks. And like it hurts even more just because Will Fuller's been on a really good year. He's finally stepped into that first.
He's a free agent at the end of the year.
He was,
and that's the thing.
Going to eclipse 1,000 yards for the first time.
Yeah,
there's a reason why he hasn't gotten hurt this year, guys. He gets hurt every year. He hasn't gotten hurt this year. I wonder why.
But it is their fault, but like it sucks because like obviously it wasn't something they did deliberately, but obviously they have to be responsible for what you're putting.
That is the prototypical excuse.
Yeah. I didn't know.
Something was tainted. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Yeah. Like maybe it happens once or twice, but like don't give me that every time.
Yeah, like they were very, very like they didn't appeal it at all. Like they were very accepting of it and they're ready to just move on. Obviously, no questions asked on their front. So yeah, that was the only other week 12 news we had. So I'll transition us here to week 13. Because of the whole switch around, there isn't going to be a game tomorrow. So no Thursday night football. We go right into week
because it was supposed to be Dallas
Sunday.
Dallas from Baltimore.
Yeah.
That's now
Tuesday?
think that's next
Monday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
No, I think it's Tuesday.
Baltimore versus Dallas. Yeah.
So
All right. So what's the first game?
Going off the score app I got. Yeah, Giants Seahawks. I
Seahawks.
will unanimously put the Seahawks.
Yep.
Seahawks,
I'm
whether
not even
Jones
gonna
is back or not.
Speak to this
Mhm.
because it won't matter. It won't matter. Next, Saints Falcons, and these two always fucking play each other weird. Saints 3-point favorite on the road.
Weren't they just close? Like recently,
Yeah.
it was still close, even with Taysom Hill.
With Drew Brees, no?
No, with Taysom Hill.
Was it? When did they
Yeah.
last play?
2 weeks ago.
They played
Was
like
it?
3 weeks ago.
Oh, you're right. I took the Falcons.
Yeah.
Do I do it again?
24-9, week 11. Yeah, they literally played.
Oh, it's 20
2 weeks
to
ago.
9. Yikes.
Mhm. They
Yeah.
got slapped.
Oh,
I'm gonna
That's a
take
bad
New
pick.
Orleans.
Yeah, Saints. Shouldn't be that hard.
Like it shouldn't be, but the Falcons just look like an elite team.
We always take the team that goes against the Falcons, and then the Falcons somehow do something fucked
I
up.
know.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm never betting on the Falcons because we know what they do in 28-3 leads. So
You're right.
Right.
You're right. Give me the Saints.
Yep, Saints all across the board. Lions Bears. Bears 3-point favorite
Okay.
at home.
So this was the one that I was like,
this to me, yes, too.
if
I'll
DeAndre
lead us
Swift
off.
plays,
I'm going Detroit. I'm no explanation needed. Go for it.
I was saying the same thing. If Swift plays, I want Detroit.
Is Trubisky playing again?
Yes. Oh, Detroit.
It doesn't even matter who's playing. It
Yeah,
doesn't even
Detroit.
matter who's playing. I do not trust
But,
Chicago.
like,
I'm more than willing
Nick
to lose
Foles
this
can
game.
manufacture wins. Trubisky is a Phillip Rivers version 2.
Mhm.
So I'll go Detroit. I don't have confidence in it, but I'll go Detroit.
I'm not confident in it, but I'm more than happy to lose just because
Yeah.
I never know what to do with the Bears.
Pretty
either.
sure
They're
the
one of those
Bears
teams.
have statistically the easiest schedule for the rest of the year too. So
Interesting. And they're still like, I was like, oh, when
They're
they were
500,
5-2 or something, I was like, oh, they're gonna make the playoffs.
This is honestly a pretty tough week. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, for some of the picks, yeah.
I wouldn't even.
Colts and Texans, like another two teams. Like what the fuck do we know about these teams? Like
If Will Fuller was in that game, I would take the Texans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They still don't have
Indy's
David
a
Johnson
3-point
either.
favorite on the road. I'm
Yeah.
taking Indy. I'll
Yeah.
lose it again happily, but
Yeah.
I'll do it.
I was ready to come in and pick Houston, but I will.
So was
take
I.
Indy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I forgot about Will Fuller.
So
I don't know, they
Brent,
looked
you're
good
going
last
Indy
week.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they looked good last week, but Will Fuller did a lot.
Raiders, Jets. I mean, Vegas just lost to the Falcons.
I don't
but,
even
I
have
mean,
faith in the Raiders.
The
Raiders,
Jets are
come
next level
on.
back.
Broke my
Come
heart. I'm
on.
going Raiders, but god damn, man, they put up 6 points.
No, potentially no Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, it's still the Jets.
It's the
Exactly.
Jets. Titans, Browns.
I think they could win. Titans, Browns. Titans.
Titans are a 6-point favorite. Yeah.
Do it, Brant. You won't.
The Browns just had a historically bad game from their defense.
You won't do it.
I might do it.
You won't do it. Please do it.
Jacksonville kept it close, man.
I understand. Jacksonville
You'd
kept it
think
close.
they
It's the
learned.
only
You'd
thing
think
keeping
they
me
learned
picking
from it and come out
Cleveland.
hard against the Titans. You know.
Give me Cleveland, man. Why not? Nick Chubb's coming back. Like he's starting to get hot again. Kareem's still good. Baker finally looked like he could throw the ball again. We'll see.
Thanks.
Tennessee.
Brandon Allen and the Bengals versus Miami.
Miami.
Yep.
The Bengals suck.
Who's the favorite on that? 10-point favorite. Wow. Jags
I
versus
got 11 and a
Vikings.
half.
Vikings are 10-point
Oh, and
favorite.
this one,
I mean,
yeah,
was
10
it?
point.
This
Vikings.
one speaks. I'd hate to be the person who goes up against Dalvin Cook on
You
this
say
kind
Vikings,
of week.
Jack?
Yeah.
Yes. I'd hate to be the
Oh,
person who has to go up
Thielen's
against
back
Dalvin
too,
Cook in
right?
fantasy.
Yeah. Obviously Vikings, but the Jags are going to keep it close every game they're in for some reason. So it's going to be tight.
Mm-hmm.
3-point favorite. Rams Cards. This was the
This is the doozy.
NFC matchup we were talking about. Yeah.
Mauro, you want to go first on this one?
I'll lead us. I mean, sure. again,
like I
I
should
have
go
no
last.
idea because these NFC West teams always come out of nowhere, and I didn't like the Rams last week. I'm probably not gonna like them this week. I'll go Arizona. Fuck it. I'll be happy.
I wanted
lose.
you to make. I wanted to make up a game on that one. Yeah, I'm taking Arizona for my underdog. God damn it!
So we're gonna
Again,
lose.
I have.
We're all gonna lose.
If we're gonna go down, we're gonna go down
Because
together.
I'm gonna go Arizona. So you can write down the loss and go
We'll
Rams.
talk it up. We'll talk it up now. Packers Eagles. Assume we're all going Packers here because the fuck not.
Oh, I forgot to
one,
say
I
on that
don't
Eagles
even-
game. So my brother bet the spread. It was a 7.5 point spread. They needed
the Hail Mary?
They threw the Hail Mary and they needed a 2-point convert to get them under or over the spread or whatever it was. And they ended up getting the 2-point. He was fucking pissed. It was so funny.
Shout out to Vegas and being so damn fucking good at their jobs.
Yeah,
I assume this is Kurt because
no, this is Spence. Kurt didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, Spence
And-
likes to gamble.
I like to, and I've realized that I'm not good at
Bad.
it.
I've had a rough stretch. I haven't won a bet since Dustin Johnson won the Masters. That was the last thing I won.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Doing great. Doing great.
I don't know who the. I guess this is just so even, but Patriots and Chargers
it's a Patriot. I have Patriots -1.
on the road.
Give me the
Yeah, I mean,
Patriots. I don't trust.
I'll
the Chargers
take
to
the
win.
Pats.
Fuck. Yo, we're
I
gonna have
don't-
this.
They just went out and
same
beat the thing.
I don't trust the Chargers to win. Like
No,
Patriots can win games.
Yep.
So all three of us are going Pats then, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm just looking back here on whether or not we differ. We don't differ on a whole lot other than Cleveland right now.
Yep.
Broncos, Chiefs, the city across the board. Unless any of you
Yep.
guys want a QB.
Yeah, how is
Are
it
they
only
gonna be
14?
QB
Oh,
listed?
they activated them this week. I was like, how are they only at 14 point? Oh yeah, they have them. That's why.
Who's that?
They have all three of their quarterbacks are back. They activated them off the COVID list.
Oh,
Football team Steelers. I assume
Steelers.
we all take Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
you know what? This will be the
Bills,
game the football team
49ers.
wins. I'm taking the Steelers, but this will be the game that they fucking lose on. They looked like
Really?
shit today. They weren't good.
Yeah.
I can see
Uh,
it.
I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They were supposed to
No
play this
James
game a week
Conner.
ago.
No, that's
James
fair.
Conner.
And what's his name was
Um,
out too? Marquise Pouncey, because he's
Yep.
on the COVID list.
They also might have lost Bud Dupree. I was just reading to a
But
torn
they could get
ACL.
hit.
That's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Also, Marquise Pouncey is just the first. There could be multiple COVID tests or
Right.
multiple COVID positives that you don't know about. Could be a different team by the time this game comes around.
Oh,
I'm
no, yeah,
gonna
this
take
could
the
be a
Steelers,
comeback.
obviously. I'm not stupid enough to bet against it, but like if there was a time that I think the Steelers are gonna lose, I don't
This
see
time?
why it can't be Washington. Washington.
It's fair.
Yeah, this could be one
This
of
one's
those come
close.
back to us in a week, and this game might not even happen just because.
This one is close.
play
Buffalo
Baltimore.
49ers.
Yeah,
49ers.
Bills,
There's a t- there's
Bills
a-
49ers is closer than what I would think.
Because the Niners are healthy, man. They're not a bad team when they're healthy. They look good. I'm still gonna go to the Bills, but
right.
the Niners, when healthy, they look like a decent team. Like their offense is a lot more lethal. Debo Samuel can make shit happen.
Right. But
Uh,
at the end of the day, I just don't believe in Nick Mullins. So why would I pick him?
He doesn't have to do much. He's in a
You're
really
right.
easy
Anywhere
system.
close.
You're right.
Could
Like,
return late,
especially
so
with Raheem
Garoppolo's not
Mostert.
even
Raheem
close.
Mostert has takeover abilities.
He's a game.
that,
Yeah. He's a game changer.
like it's,
I'll go Buffalo.
Yep.
Buffalo across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Cowgirls,
And then-
Ravens,
Ravens.
Baltimore. That shouldn't be unless any of you
Lamar-
guys want to take
Lamar
the
not
Cowboys, so
playing
we
is
can never get
interesting.
right.
Lamar might not be in. So
It's tight.
Trace
I'm still taking
McSorley.
I don't think it's
still taking Baltimore.
or RG3.
Still taking Baltimore.
Yeah, but it's just it's a
Wasn't
shit show.
RG3 their top rusher today?
Yeah. Didn't he get hurt?
Yep. Trace McSorley, who had been hurt for the past like 3-4 weeks, something like that,
Mhm.
came back.
So
TikTok
that
was pumped.
is our week 13 roundup. I will go through it one last time, but we don't differ on much at all.
No. Me
Just,
and Mauro the exact
Just
same
Cleveland. Yeah, just Cleveland and the Tennessee game. Everything else were all on par with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So not much really going to
So I'm the only one that can make a difference here.
shifting
Eh?
around.
Yeah.
I'll promise
All right.
not to make the same picks, especially when we go into our last 3 weeks, just to try and keep things interesting.
Right. Fair.
Like, let's try and keep.
I don't
that in
feel like
play.
you did that one on purpose. It was kind of an easy week.
No,
in terms of,
like
there's not a lot of toss-ups.
Mhm. But yeah, that's how things stack up for week 13.
I think we go into
That-
the playoffs and we finish the playoffs
I'm down.
because then like you can actually like
Mm-hmm.
make up games, right? Like if
Yeah.
it's a 1-game difference in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
I have to make like
You
I
have
would
to
have
win
to
it.
exactly. I would have
Yeah.
to choose the other team
Yeah.
no matter what.
No,
right?
I like it.
that would
I
be-
like that.
Yeah.
I'm not even in it, but I like that.
Brent likes that. Brent likes that.
You like that?
yeah.
Looks good in the Washington color too. This makes sense.
Right.
That was.
I
everything
never really
NFL.
noticed how much we talk about the Bucks until I went to go post our videos on YouTube last time. We've have like 3 talking about the Bucks. It's just like we are a Bucks podcast now.
That's funny.
Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. He just has that ability. I don't know.
Yeah.
This week was
You just-
Carson
You want
Wentz.
to talk about him? Yeah, that's fair. We're an Eagles podcast now.
Yeah.
How's it feel, Mauro?
We're an NFC East podcast.
Are you
How about
kidding me?
that?
We talk about the Giants like every podcast for no goddamn reason.
I did. I made a conservative effort to not bring them up this week.
Because there's nothing to talk about other than Daniel Jones.
We've won 3 in a row. I'll move on. Let's talk about soccer. How about that?
All right. I'm actually intrigued on this one.
Yeah, this one sucks.
You bring it up because
Yeah.
it's your line of work.
Yesterday, so hasn't been a great week for TFC at all. Hasn't been a great month for TFC at all, actually. So they went into the MLS playoffs. They were not on a very good stretch. Coming into the last month of the season, they were top of the table. They would have won the Community Shield, which is the equivalent to the President's Trophy.
Okay.
Highest
It's a little more
scoring
important
team
in
going.
soccer, though, right?
It is because it's
I
recognizing.
know
the
in
30
Europe
games
it's bigger. Like
It-
it's bigger
yeah.
to win the season than it is to win the playoffs. But like,
Well, that's
I
the thing.
don't
There is
think
no
it's-
playoffs.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the
Yeah.
season, that's the major trophy you win. And Toronto FC blew it within the last 4 weeks. They had like a pretty good, like sizable, I want to say like 2 games worth of points
Mhm.
ahead of the next team. They
Yeah.
lost that. They went into the playoffs really cold, and it was a one and done against Nashville, an expansion team. And all in all, like they went from a really, really big high to a really, really big low. And yesterday,
Crazy.
head coach Greg Vanney stepped down. It kind of sucks because he's basically taken them from the dumpster
been
fire and the
great.
laughing stock that they were to bringing them to every single tournament and to every single trophy they could possibly win. MLS Cup, Community Shield, like
They
preseason
made.
Shield.
Did they not
Canada.
make it to the? Was it the semis or the finals of that thing that comes after the TFC?
They made
MLS
it to
Cup?
the CONCACAF Champions League.
Thank you.
So they have the European one, which actually goes on, as we speak, and then they have the CONCACAF, which is strictly to North America. They made it to the finals
Finals,
between here, Mexico, and every other
Mhm.
country in North America that has a big enough
Yeah.
program and league that
That's
can
something
compete.
though that like there's only been like 2 MLS teams to do it. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
Like they were a good team under him, and it's just kind it's
Mm-hmm.
a weird thing for me. Like I don't watch TFC games, I don't follow the MLS at all, but like I see it pop up from here and there, and it's just like they seem to be real successful underneath him. So on the outside looking in, it seems like a really strange resignation.
yeah.
I don't know if there's more to it, but
They were dealing with injuries. Obviously, injuries hurt, especially coming into the playoffs because you're having a really great stretch and then players go down.
Right.
But at the end of the day, like Josie Altidore, Alex Pozuelo, and Michael Bradley are the 3 designated players, the guys that their contracts are exempt. They're the leaders of your team.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, they had another guy, Akinola, who's been their best striker on the bench. And when they needed goals, obviously you're going to start Altidore, but when you need goals and your best players still being played on the bench, like, you'd
Strange.
hope to, and that's the reason why they lost, right? Like they didn't play well against Nashville. They went into what should have been penalty shots, but they gave up a goal in like the second half of extra time, and it just stunk.
it's weird.
So I hope that this
It's-
isn't the start of a rebuild because they still have quality players, but this sucks.
It seems weird that he stepped down. Like that's the only thing that's kind of just like
I
strange
think
to
it's
me.
mutually agreed.
Firing. Yeah,
Was he
it's a
fired?
I think it's
fire.
mutually
Okay, I
agreed.
read
and
that he
It's a
stepped
fire.
down, but
They put it out as step down, but
Okay.
you got to think that with the lack of success this past year,
It would
and
be
just
them letting him go.
and to his credit though, like 3 finals in 5 years, like obviously MLS isn't the biggest league in terms of marketability and how widespread the coverage is, but in a league of 30 teams, like that's still fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like that's Golden State Warriors fucking good. Like they
Was
only
it?
won 1 of the 3, but still, like that's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
Cleveland
And
Cavaliers.
he had a huge
It is.
part in
It's
that.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Good is what it is.
Yeah, like they got to the dance twice, right?
Yeah.
And then
3
they
times.
yeah.
Three. They only won once, but still.
Which one was the other one that they got to the finals?
The
Oh yeah.
Last year, 2016,
The
they lost.
back-to-backs against
2017,
Seattle,
they
Yeah.
won.
right?
Yeah.
And then last year was against Seattle too,
Oh, was it?
or
I'll
2
take
years
it.
ago rather.
Yeah.
It's
That's crazy.
It's cool.
It's rough.
It's a rivalry.
It's weird. It's a weird fall from grace.
Yeah.
I had a lot to add to that conversation.
It's not many times you don't say much.
Bro, I literally muted my mic and started eating something.
I try to follow like news so I can keep
Sure.
up with Mauro a little bit,
Sure.
but I don't know the game well enough to actually like.
I
I
was
couldn't
gonna say-
name like I
was
know
gonna-
Josie Altidore and Michael Bradley, and
yeah,
I
yeah.
know the goalie's name when you say it.
I was gonna
Alex
say
Bowen.
It's
like
Alex Buono, right? Yeah,
Westbrook, yeah.
yeah. I know them. Outside
Oh,
of that, I don't know much.
I was gonna say. So moral of the story is, he got fired.
You got fired.
Yes.
head coach?
They need a new head coach.
They
is the
didn't meet
moral of the story.
expectations this year. They should be a cup team, and they didn't even. They basically Tampa Bay'd against the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Gotcha.
So
Now we get it.
Yeah.
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 Lead with that.
All right, let's have our weekly Blue Jays conversation. While you guys were doing that, I was reading Shai Davidi released another article, basically just reiterating the fact. I think the Jays now have a budget of what, like a set in stone budget, like of what they're going to spend. But also, like there was news earlier today that Ross Atkins basically said that the Jays have like thrown out
They have
offers.
deals.
Yeah,
They have deals. That
they
are-
have framework for deals done.
Yeah.
Like if they want it to happen. Now I don't assume I assume that if numbers exchange with the top level, but I also think like if they miss on them, then they know what the alternatives would be. So that's interesting.
this is the same conversation we have every week at this point, but like
Right.
it's just like
Yeah.
they're in on everyone, and it's like it's not really big news week by week, but like it's crazy that we've gone this long and they're still talking about like they're going after this guy, they made an offer to this guy,
Well,
and like
It's interesting, like the little tidbits that keep getting released, right?
Yeah.
Like so John Morosi was on Tim and Sid today, and he was basically asked if the Jays could have anyone in the free agent market, who would it be? Like you could tell them they can have anyone.
yeah,
And I was thinking, it'd be like DJ LeMahieu because that's a perfect fit at third and
Right.
everything. He was like, no, it's George Springer. I was just like, wow.
that's so weird.
So, like, just rationalizing that, like,
Yeah.
just try to take out your ill will
Okay.
towards
As a
George
player,
Springer.
it's player A.
I think it kind of
I don't know,
He's
is
a young
that
enough
the
player
guy-
to be a part of the core. Like, I think
Sure.
so.
Sure.
Like,
How old?
I
He's
think
26?
he's 31. He's turning
Ugh.
31.
I thought he was a
Yeah.
lot younger. He just
I
seemed
mean, but
younger.
if you're signing to, exactly. He was a college player,
Yeah.
so like, but I just
Like-
think that I think he's a great fit because I think he would bring an aspect of leadership that they don't have on the team.
Yeah. If you're looking to fill
Also-
a hole, I don't know if that's the hole that is the biggest
Sure.
gaping hole.
It's not. But if you,
Personally.
like I said, the number one thing that I would like, my number one wish would be George Springer and Colton Wong. Is it probably too much? Probably, but
Colton Wong would be an interesting one. I don't know
Colton
what
Wong
he'd
is
get.
great. But if he's the number one guy you get, that's a little
That's
underwhelming.
bad. That's bad.
Yeah. But I just think that George Springer, like, he brings a lot of professionalism, and he's been there, and he's one of the top players in the league, and he's a playoff guy. He's won World Series MVP. Like, take out the cheating scandal and everything. I was watching this video on
Big thing to check out.
yeah, sure, but I mean, he still performed this year without it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
so I was watching this video on YouTube because you said I just don't like that guy. I don't like George
don't like
Springer, and basically, like, my thought process changed on him a little, like, because you're like, oh, he's cocky and all this, like. And it was this video explaining how he had like a stutter all his life,
Okay.
and like explaining the good things that he's done for the community with it. And I was just like, wow, that's really thoughtful and really nice. Just like, wow, good guy.
I didn't
George
like
Springer.
the Houston Astros before the cheating.
Sure,
scandal,
but
to
like
me,
I think
it's just like
Bregman is more of a person to dislike out of all of them.
yeah, Bregman's it's like Bregman and Correa are 1 and 1A.
Yep.
And then
Like Springer was just attached to it. So why doesn't another guy I think is a good fit and the Jays have reached out to is Michael Brantley. I think that would be an unreal. I think that's a great fit as your fourth outfielder / DH. Like he's gonna play every day in that situation.
I know you don't like it, but like even Marcelo Ozuna, I think
I just don't see the
weird
fit.
But it also I think it makes Lourdes a little more expendable.
Sure,
and like if you package him in that Lindor deal, like it's been rumored, it makes a little more sense because you have someone to fill that hole who has more power than Lourdes.
Right, but I don't think you're filling a hole from the standpoint of you have a guy like Randall Grichuk playing center who's not really capable of playing center field at a like George Springer.
George Springer's a better center fielder.
George Springer is a above average defensive center fielder. Randall Grichuk, give me a second.
Not good. His stats are not good. He looked fine. I don't know.
Yeah, he looked fine on play to play. He was a negative 3.1 defensive WAR with Fangraphs, and Springer was. He actually might not have been better this year just because of.
It's just a weird year.
Like
I didn't feel like
2.2, negative 2.2.
Yeah, I didn't feel like Gritch was that bad, but like the numbers are not in his favor.
Yeah,
his range is good. Like he gets to a lot of balls, surprisingly for what he does.
And so. I think like my personal favorite would be adding a guy like DJ LeMahieu, but I just don't. I think it's more probable that George Springer happens because I don't think that you're beating out the Yankees or the Mets in terms of money to get to sign DJ LeMahieu. I don't think that's feasible.
What's our budget? Did they say what our dollar figure is that we're working with?
They're currently like significantly. I think they have like 40 million plus to spend. So. Like in terms of getting back up to the level that they were at last year.
That's a big name and a middle guy or two above average guys.
Right. Like I think
relative to next year, what names are available?
I haven't looked.
Everyone. Lindor, Correa, Chris Bryant. There's like significant names available next offseason. It's a better offseason. But like I don't think that you can say that next year is in your thinking in terms of this year.
There's just names available now, so you might as well go after.
Exactly. Like
no sense in saying hold back for next year because Giannis is available. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's none of that.
Mike Trout's not a free agent next year. Basically, you're not saving up for him.
And then like a couple of the other points was Morosi also said that the Jays want Lindor. Like. They want like that's. It's not that they're going to.
It's not
him. It's that there's an affinity
far-fetched
to him.
Basically.
Right.
I think it'd be cool. I wouldn't hate seeing. Like I've never been a huge Lindor fan. I think it's just because I'm just jealous of how fucking good he is. But like I think he'd be great as a Blue Jay. I would not hate to see it.
There's a couple more things. So Colton Wong's a player where. MLB Network and MLB Now, like Brian Kenny's statistical show, they were doing an interesting thing on him. It was basically Colton Wong has been the fourth best second baseman over the last 2 years.
He turned it around a lot. Like he used to be dog shit defensively.
Using I can't remember if it was F WAR or just regular WAR. But so it's like Ketel Marte, Ozzie Albies, and DJ LeMahieu were the only ones that were better than him in the last couple of years. Now, the things but he's a league average offensive second baseman. But the things that make him so good is his defensive play and his base running,
which is the biggest hole.
Exactly. So I was just like, it's not a problem if this guy hits 275 and can maybe hit 8 or more home runs in over 162.
You have guys that hit home runs. You don't need 9 home runs.
And he's got a good on base percentage. Like he's not a hole in your lineup whatsoever. So I think he
hit leadoff for the Cardinals.
Did he? Interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if he held that this year because he had a down year this year in comparison.
He got really good in the end of it, is what it was. He started taking off near the end.
So it was basically like, is it worth to pay good players or hold off for the elite players like the George Springers in this off season. And it was just an interesting conversation to have because like, what do you guys think? Do you guys think like in the NBA it's totally different? Like I think you should hold off and pay the best guys.
You just want a team of great guys in baseball. It doesn't really. You don't need obviously you don't need the Mike Trout because it doesn't really make a difference as we've seen.
Right.
One in just from an outside perspective, because obviously you guys know a lot more than what I do, but just I feel like in baseball, having one single player relative to having 3 or 4 quality players, like it's the whole Moneyball scheme. That I've watched that movie and it's like, wow, it makes fucking sense because
you only get at like on average you're getting 3 or 4 at bats a game.
Yep.
So the ability to make a difference in 3 or 4 at bats is not high.
But the ability to do that throughout the game defensively, which is one of your weak spot, like your defense sucks.
Yeah.
I'm 100% here for Colin Wong. Like
I don't want to pay him big money.
Here's a scenario. No. I don't think he'll get. I don't think he's getting over $10 million.
No.
Here's a scenario that I think I would be pretty okay with. Very okay with actually. Colin Wong and Michael Brantley on offense. And then you get because then you're adding 2 lefties to a righty dominant lineup. You can shuffle the four outfielders between the DH and like days off and stuff, and into the outfield. Colin Wong play second. You move Cavan to third, or Vladdy since he's seems set on playing it because he's going to play their winter ball.
Dominican, right?
Yeah, he's going to play in the Dominican for their winter ball team.
Gotta give him credit for trying.
Yeah,
I respect
and then if you get Paxton and or Odorizzi, then you're talking. And then if you get one of them and a lesser starter, just to improve your depth, and then go get Bultman guys. Like you don't have to go get Liam Hendricks, but in this situation, you might have the money to because you're not going out there and signing that $30 million player that you can maybe divvy up some more cash.
Yeah, I'm cool with getting a bunch of good guys.
Yeah,
like
you have
quality
the core.
over quantity.
You need an influx of talent, whether it's a singular guy that provides it or a bunch of
here for that
really
too.
good guys. Yeah,
don't get me wrong, but like you have the core that are going to be all stars. You don't.
I don't think that there's not a right or a wrong answer.
There's so many ways to win a World Series.
Yeah. But that's all I have for the Jays in baseball, really.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's this little activity that you wanted to talk about? To end off the podcast.
We never really have fun anymore here. We just talk about sports.
Right.
So I figured we kind of needed to throw. I thought we were going to go a lot shorter. We didn't, but
yeah,
figured we'd throw something in at the end. So the pandemic's been a thing for a while. Lots of people have been binge watching shit. It's kind of what you do nowadays because there's nothing else to go out and do. I wanted to talk about your top 5 Netflix TV shows that you would binge right now. If you were stuck with only 5 TV shows left on Netflix,
I think it's like Desert Island. I think it's like Desert Island.
Yeah.
You have these 5 shows. You have to watch them for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but they can only be on Netflix because you have that
need a little variance in this situation. You don't want just straight comedies for every single one of them. You don't want.
I mean, maybe like you.
But look, you need a little. Like you can't always.
You do need a little variance. I agree with you, but like, hey, if you wanted to go 5 straight comedies,
and I'm a guy that just watches straight sitcoms, but I did switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
Do you want to go first, Brain? Since you had your.
Do we want to go like all of like we'll all do 5s and then we'll all do 4 and we'll move our way up?
All right.
All right.
I'm game.
Okay. Yeah. It was a toss up for me. So I had Black Mirror at 5.
Oh, we're going for 5. Okay.
Yeah. You don't start at the top.
Okay. Gotcha. Fair.
I had Black Mirror at 5.
Uh-huh.
But it was a toss up for me between Black Mirror and Family Guy.
Okay. Here's the thing. I love Family Guy. I just don't watch it on Netflix.
That's the thing. It's like it doesn't have the first like 8 seasons.
Right.
So to me, it's just kind of like I like Family Guy and I watch it on watch it on Netflix, but it's just not a Netflix thing for me.
Right.
Black Mirror, on the other hand, it's one of my only non-comedies, I think, and it's just like it's wild, just the stuff they do. And the first time you watch episodes, it blows your mind every single time.
Can you explain the premise around it? Like, because I've never watched it.
It's so basically like it's a lot of watch it for starters because it's wild some of the stuff they do, but it's basically just like
Like,
it's stuff
what's
that
the
could actually
genre?
happen. It's like technology
They're
based
all
stuff.
standalone. Yeah, like they're all.
Yeah, none of the episodes go together. You can literally watch them in any order you want. It's just like
Right.
all
I see
different. They're
Anthony-
almost
I
like
see-
little movies.
I just Googled it. And I
Yeah.
see Anthony Mackie on like a poster.
Yeah,
for it, but
he's
it's
in
individual.
the latest season.
Gotcha.
The earlier ones are better, but like they bring in names that are
Yeah.
kind of cool, and it's just like one-off episodes where it's like they have this sort of technology, and you see how it just like would ruin the world.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like it's got some messed up storylines, and it's really entertaining to watch. And it's like when they come out with new episodes, you're hooked.
Interesting,
I think if they had come out with a new season recently, I would probably put it higher on the list. But because it's been so long, it's just kind of faded into the back.
Interesting. Mauro, you want to go?
Okay,
want
so
me to go? I
first
don't-
off, let me just explain to you guys that I've never been a big binge watcher at all. So
Right.
like my
Someone's
knowledge
gotta be,
and
right?
arsenal of what I've watched is very
A little
limited.
less. Okay.
So yeah, I've got it 5 Trailer Park Boys.
Oh.
Yeah,
I've never watched it because I could just never get into the concept. of
it's
just-
pretty
Yeah.
fun. It's a stupid funny. It's
Yeah,
a stupid funny
yeah.
Canadian based.
I've seen
Whatever.
bits and pieces. It's not bad.
It's fun.
It's got a cult following for sure,
yes.
but
Um,
it's just never really been my thing. Again, this is not. I didn't really mention this, but this isn't like the 5. Like we're not sitting here trying to discuss the 5
Yeah,
best shows
yeah.
on Netflix
Right.
yeah.
because we can scream at each other for the rest of the time if we want, but
Mhm.
it's not really the point. This is just like your 5,
Right.
whatever you want. Amir, what do you got?
I have BoJack Horseman number 5.
Okay, I've never watched it.
It's it's a
never heard
comedy.
of that.
It's a sitcom, but it's also like dark in some ways, and it's like
Okay.
real life. Like you can relate to it.
Yeah,
In some ways, it's a great show. It's
Yeah.
a really good
Alright.
show, and it just finished up. So
okay.
It's all
It's
on.
done, right? Like they
it's
just had their
done,
last season.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a complicated, complex show. Like it's difficult to explain, but it's a great show. You know, Will Arnett, good Canadian boy.
All right, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
My number 4. I had the 100. The only reason it's
I've heard of that.
season 1 and
Never heard
2. Neither of you seen it. Okay, so season
I've
1
heard
and
of
2
that,
for
heard
me, the 2 best seasons of any show that I have on my list. Unbelievable start to that series, and then like 3, 4, 5, they dropped the ball, and then they brought it back a little bit. But like the entire show as a whole, it's great. It's my number 4 for a reason. But like season 1 and 2 for me were the greatest seasons of anything I've have on here. They were just real entertaining. It's just a different concept. It's really cool, and loved it. But if they would have held on to that, they'd easily be my number 1. But they just kind of fumbled it for a while there, and it dropped down.
Interesting.
My number 4, I'm gonna go with the one that just finished recently over the whole pandemic. Ozark. I really enjoyed Ozark. I don't know.
I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
And I
I-
really
that was
wanna watch
one
it,
of the
I just
most
never
recent
had
ones that
time.
I've actually binge watched, and it kept me on the TV just glued. And Jason Bateman, honestly, I love him. He's great.
Everyone
it
I
was
talk to loves it.
Yeah.
I've never started.
I'm not gonna
so I never
spoil
really-
what's coming,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
yeah, it was a fun show, and it kind of ties into me as my habits. So go ahead, Amir.
Number 4, all
Yeah.
reliable. You watch it growing up.
Okay.
Friends.
Going off Netflix, so you just squeezed that in time because
Yes,
at,
yes,
at
it
the
is.
end
I
of
heard they
December,
lost
I'm
the
pretty
rights.
sure it's going off.
I
It's
heard they
going off
lost
of
the
Netflix.
rights.
I mean, I have other ones to replace it if it.
No,
if
that's
it-
fair. It's still
No,
on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
But that is
Never
think
watched
it's-
Friends. So I've
honestly-
watched like episodes, but never watched it in full.
hot take. It's one of the most overrated sitcoms ever.
That's fair. That's
Really?
fair.
I
That's
I
fine.
don't like it.
It's great.
I think it's okay. I
great.
appreciate the fact that you like it. You're not the only one. I am very few in my category.
Isn't this like? I'm sure if I never watched it growing up, I would have been like, whatever, it's
Maybe.
fine.
Yeah, I didn't watch it a lot.
But it's nostalgic in a way. And
That's fair.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
That's right. I just don't find it all that funny. for
It's
what it
not.
is.
It's like a shitty comedy and a drama all in
Mhm.
one.
But like, there's so many people that like love the humor to it, and I'm like, I don't.
I love
get it.
Chandler. I love Joey.
Yeah.
Like,
That's it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Monica was hot when she was younger. And then
They all were.
yeah. I mean,
Except
I'm not a
for, like,
Phoebe guy. I'm not a Phoebe guy.
David Schwimmer wasn't very great.
Hey,
looking
hey,
either.
David Schwimmer still pulled, somehow pulled Jennifer Aniston, right?
They were on a break though.
Yeah, they were on. We're on a break. Okay. Brian, what's your number
Number
three?
three It's an out there choice. It's more just because it's like very me, the show, but The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher and it was Danny Masterton until he fucked everything up. But
What do you do? Sorry. What do you do?
it's we don't.
Okay.
Well, it's just like in the whole Me Too thing. He was just like
Right.
in that group of people that got like brought to light because of it.
Right.
But like before that, like the humor is incredible. Like it's funny for pretty much anyone, but like it's very like country vibes to it, and it's basically about their ranch and all that. And it's just like it's very me. So it's just I loved watching it. It was a great show. It's done now, but Dion Phaneuf's wife's on the show.
Right.
So it's got a sports tie into it, we'll say. But yeah, it's a fun show. I like it.
Nice.
I don't think anyone else ever puts it that high.
I've never watched any of that, but yeah.
No? It's good.
I know you're a country guy, so yeah.
I was gonna say, fitting. Looking at your Spotify shit, you might actually enjoy it. Because honestly, it's got some damn good music in it.
Okay. I might have to check it out then.
It would be worth
my
it.
number 3. Again, I guess you can kind of say this ties into me just because I'm a very big stupid funny. So I got The Office at 3.
Dude, I've been binge watching it for 2 weeks.
It's a stupid funny. Like
it's better. Okay, I've only seen it once before this, and I didn't really like it. But I watched it again, and it's a lot better this time than it was the first time. I feel like the more you watch it, the better it gets almost. It's just like there's so many little jokes you kind of miss at first, but like I've been liking it a lot more this time than I did the first time.
It's a stupid funny. It's
pretty
just
good.
me though. Like I've always been like the Will Ferrell kind of comedy stupid. Like
fair.
what
All
the
right.
fuck is he
So
doing?
do I
kinda
spoil
stuff.
mine now?
You're what?
My list.
No, you gotta go 3, man.
Okay.
3.
Okay. 3 I have Suits.
That's another one I want to watch. I just haven't gotten into it.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Like it's
I'm behind the times on it. I know that for sure.
right. I mean, it's over, so what does it matter? But yeah, like it was the one show that I watched like week to week. Like it was the last show that I can really remember doing that. So, and I like it.
I've heard it's good.
It's a
I'm
great
gonna
show.
watch it at some point. But...
Great show. You want to list your number 2?
All right. So you made a prediction before the show.
Well, no way. This is
on what
you're
my
lying.
number 1 would be.
You're lying.
You said Brooklyn Nine-Nine. You were close. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's my number 2.
That's a lie.
Love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Great show.
It's a shame.
Hilarious humor to it.
It's a shame.
There's just it's great. I know a lot of people bashed on it for being a cop show when the
The
Black
re-
Lives Matter. Like if
the
you watch the show,
rewatchability of it,
bro, it's got some. If you wait long enough, it's got it.
Okay.
But like it got bashed a lot for being a cop show. But like if you watch episodes of it, man, they tackle so many issues even within like the police world. It's a great show morals wise. There's a lesson in every episode, and it's just hilarious watching it through and through. It's just love the show. It's great.
That's actually a show I was thinking about watching. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Good.
My number 2 is a show that's actually ongoing. So I don't know if it applies, but I got Stranger Things at 2.
Okay.
I love it. It's fucking incredible.
I thought about it. I have it in my honorable mentions. It was
I also have
battling
it
for
number
number
2.
Do you?
Stranger
Yeah, see,
Things is
it was
fucking crazy, man.
It was battling for number 5 for me. It's just like I like it. It's a great show, but it's just not really that high for me.
I've never been into horror.
Yeah.
So when I first started watching, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And like, I just,
It's
you're
not really
glued
a
to the
horror. It's
action.
like a mystery.
Yeah,
like a
no, it's
thriller
more of a
mystery.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, to me, like, I've never been the one to watch that kind of stuff. And I watched the first season. I'm like, wow, this is actually fucking
There's
awesome.
not a unlikable character in the entire show. Like I
No,
legitimately
it's all- yeah.
can't think of
No,
one off
I'm
the
with
top
you
of
on
my
that.
head.
I waited a long time to get into it because like the whole premise of it seemed really stupid to me, and I'm just like, I don't really care for this.
It's not
Then I
as
got
out there
forced
as
to
like-
watch it, and they're like,
Yeah.
just watch. I'm like, okay, fine. So I sat down. I'm like, shit, this is actually pretty good. It's the
Yeah.
storyline's
Great.
cool. The characters are fun.
Yeah.
It's
Every
well
one of
done.
them.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah, I had Stranger Things too. So
That's fair.
I cried like a fucking baby at the end of the last season when
No
Thanos got
spoilers.
killed and now he's alive. Like, so
They threw a massive curveball on us and they did us dirty. So
When's
Yeah.
the new season coming out? That's
I don't know
soon,
with the
is it not?
pandemic. Like it was supposed to come out,
Yeah.
like next year at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Mhm.
Oh well.
Yeah.
My number 1. It's been my number 1 for years now. I don't know how you actually missed it. How I Met Your Mother.
So it was on my list.
It's untouchable. I'm sorry. It's just
Um,
like it's got literally aspects of everything. I've rewatched it 6 times. Rewatched
I,
it 6 times. Like it's
I took it out because
Okay.
I felt I had too many. Like, if you're telling
That's
me
fair.
How I Met Your Mother or Friends,
Mhm.
like I feel like I've watched Friends a lot more times than I've watched How I Met Your Mother once, and it was during the pandemic when I
Okay.
binge watched it, and I binge watched it like crazy.
yeah.
But I still think like I would rather have Friends. I think.
See,
so.
it's just like to me, they're comparable, the two of them, and I don't think Friends holds a candle to How I Met Your Mother. It's the comedy's better, the storylines are better, the characters are way better.
Mhm.
I just everything about it just trumps Friends.
Sorry, what? What was that?
Everything about it trumps Friends.
Oh my god.
Sorry.
See,
It's
lucky
not
for
as
you
good.
guys, I've never really been the sitcom guy, and I don't really have any say in this kind of conversation because my number one, I don't know, I doubt it's Amir's, but I got Breaking Bad at number one.
I don't.
Oh, that's a good one.
I started
I
watching a
love-
couple.
That is a
Breaking Bad
yeah.
fresh Netflix show too. Like that's not really.
No, I want. Is it that?
Yeah,
fresh?
it's been on
It's
Netflix. It's been on
It's
only
Netflix.
been like
It's been on Netflix.
it's been
I watched
within the
it
year
before
that they
it was
brought
on.
it back.
Like, yeah, I've watched it before it was on
Yeah.
Netflix, and honestly,
Yeah.
it's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston,
Mhm.
Aaron Paul. To me, my favorite show all time across from all streaming services and platforms. Like
Aaron Paul is in BoJack Horseman. But, yeah.
Is he?
I-
Nice.
I thought it was a stupid concept when I was a kid, so I never really watched it. But like now that I'm a
Mhm.
little older, everyone's just like, "You gotta watch it," and I'm like, I've debated it, but it's also on the list of like 9 other TV shows.
Yeah,
that I've
I
been
watched
told to
like the
watch.
first couple, like 5 or 6
I-
episodes,
I-
and I really liked it. I just
Yeah.
never went back to it.
I
My-
just watched the 100, and everyone's been telling me to watch that for like
Right.
3 years.
I watched the
So
first episode of Breaking Bad with my dad, and the first thing he says, "Oh, what? Do everything it takes to support for your family. The means justifies the ends. This is not a show for me." I'm like, okay, I'll watch it alone. So
Gee, that's good to hear from your dad.
That's funny. Number one for me, I had The Office. Like, when you would,
oh, wow.
yeah, like,
I kind of figured it would be up there on your list.
yeah, like it's
It's a good
just
show.
good. Like,
It's a good
I don't
show.
even. It wouldn't. It's not my number one show ever.
No, just Netflix wise though.
So you basically touched on it. I think you can put on any episode in the background and you can literally watch it.
Yeah,
anytime.
Yeah.
it doesn't really connect with itself. Like it's not
No.
like you don't have to watch it in order. You
No,
do a
you
little
don't.
bit to get some of the character arcs.
Yeah.
but you really don't.
No,
Like,
and
it's-
they're likable characters. I have a number one because we're talking about Netflix shows.
Yeah.
I'll bring you into my honorable mentions because I got like 8.
Okay. All right.
Used to be on Netflix.
Right.
Might have been my number one show
Okay.
if it was still on Netflix. Friday Night Lights. Unreal show.
I never got into it. Like I watched the
Unreal.
first season and then I just kind of faded from it. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah,
I like the first season, but it's just I never really got back into it.
really like it. Brooklyn Nine-Nine was on there.
Good.
Community.
It's hit and miss.
Yeah, like
There's
it's
some really
after,
bad episodes and there's some really good
after
ones.
Troy left. It like Donald Glover. The show sucked. So that's I agree.
He is the best part of the show.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
You said that.
Yeah. Big Mouth.
I'm not a huge
I can
fan.
get with Big Mouth. Yeah, I've watched
Yeah,
a couple.
I like
episodes
Big
of
Mouth,
that.
and it's coming out.
I don't
again.
hate it. I watched
like
it.
it.
I
I like it a
probably
lot.
watched the new season, but I
think it's
just
funny.
never been a huge fan.
Sex Education. Good show.
Really?
Yeah. Riverdale. If it didn't suck balls.
Riverdale
Yeah.
season
With,
1 through whatever it is.
Yeah. 2. Like
Yeah.
after the Dungeons and Dragons shit went to another level, like it died to me.
Yep.
Um,
Season 3 was a very, very big tipping point
Mhm.
on the scale. It just
Yeah.
plateaued there, and it fell off a huge cliff.
Yep. How I Met Your Mother. And that's basically it.
I had 13 Reasons Why. It went on a roller coaster of being good and bad,
Mhm.
but like every other season was really good.
This past season, I'm not really sure what I think of
I
it,
didn't
just
like it.
because.
I like
Yeah.
the
Oh, is this
end
the
was
one?
a fucking roller coaster, but like
Mhm.
the season itself was just weird.
Wait, what's the? I'm trying to remember it because I think I might have started watching the first
13
episode.
Reasons. It's the one where the girl kills herself and makes 13 tapes for everyone that she
Was this the
blamed,
one with the
basically.
poop at the beginning of the first episode?
No.
I can't even remember.
What was this
Like
one?
it was.
I don't even remember the first episode.
Honorable mention for me. I didn't really have much. I mean, yeah, like Ameer touched on Riverdale. I watched that. I've watched 13 Reasons Why.
Yeah.
The only other one, I mean, it didn't start off as a Netflix show, but Designated Survivor with Kiefer Sutherland.
Okay.
He takes on the role as the president in like the whole, the Capitol office goes up in flames and he has to become the president out of nowhere. Netflix took it on at season 3 and they made it their own Netflix original starting from season 3. So I really liked it. And from like, I've never been the big politics guy, but like, it was just a unique thing. So I watched that.
I also had Gotham and The Flash. Both are not really Netflix shows, but like I watched the hell out of both of them. And then
Narcos.
I've never watched it.
First two seasons. I watched only the first 2 seasons, like the ones with Pablo, like around Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
Really good.
I had Nashville too. I'm assuming neither of you have ever seen an episode.
Nope.
But
Nope.
I don't even know if it's on Netflix anymore, so I can't really say.
Nashville? Like, is
Nashville
that
with,
another country show?
Yeah.
No, it's not a country show.
Very
Mauro.
country. That was it's good. I don't think Ameer would enjoy it very much, but like it's
really?
actually the storyline's really good until like the last couple seasons. But
Buddy, what was the ranch? I looked it up, and you know how like Google will show you like the main characters and stuff. I was trying to like scroll it. I was just like, "Yo, there is not a person of color on this entire thing."
Dude, it's fucking based in Wisconsin. it's not. Yeah, no, it's very small town hick vibe. But
Nice.
there's a couple of actually Wilder Valderrama is in it for a season.
Sure. Yeah, like I know who that is.
The guy that plays Fez. That 70 show. If that was still on there, it'd be in my top 5 easily.
Really?
But it's not. Yeah. Love that show. But yeah, he played Fez on that 70 show. He also was dating Demi Lovato.
Cool.
That's all I know.
Nice.
This is a fun little activity to do.
This was fun. I think next time we gotta fit it in before the new year. Our Spotify Wrapped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta fit that in before the new
But
year.
what about it? How would let's talk this out.
Just going through it.
Go through it.
Yeah,
Okay.
go through it. Explain a little bit of.
We could do instead of we could do both. So we could do what Spotify told us, but also what we think.
What we think.
Our top
Yes,
5 artists
yes.
from this past year,
Yes.
and our top 5 songs. I think that's what we do. I think that's a good.
I don't agree with my number 1 song because
Same
I don't
here.
agree with mine
Same
either.
here.
No.
Same. Mine was like it's one of those things where it's in the playlist that like I just play and it just gets played.
I really like my number 1, but I'm like I don't think I listen to it that much.
My top 5 doesn't change from any year. It's literally the same every year.
Yeah.
So that's a preview.
You gotta respect people that have the same top 5, even though like if your top artist didn't
the same
release an
music.
album that year, shout out to you because like you love them that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like you're just pushing their albums. And you're like, I really want to listen to their new shit. It's like you just listen to them because you love them. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was in that situation.
I got a good story for that next week.
All right. So until next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.